I'll just say this before I even get into it. Guys are fucking horrible at lying, at body language, at understanding social cues. We're not hardwired that way. We come from more hunting, primitive way of viewing the world. It's very singular. This is why we always get caught looking at girls' tits, because we have tunnel vision for hunting, right? So you're talking to a girl and the fucking tits are there and you're like, and like literally you look down, right? She's seeing all this shit. Whereas girls have way better peripherals. They can be looking you dead in the eyes and just looking at your dick. Like straight up. It's two completely different ways that we see things, right? They see more colors. You know, they're way more socially inept than most men. And some history on that is I want you guys, this comes from a place of like sympathy and understanding women. I want you guys to think about a girl's experience, right? How old would you say the average girl is the first time she gets hit on? Like 12, 13. And if we're really being honest, you know, a 4, 5, 6-year-old girl is getting stared at by like older men, uncles, cousins. If she's a pretty little girl, she's getting looked at even from a young age. Her experience, you guys will never understand the amount of sexual pressure pushed on her if she's a pretty girl at a very young age, right? But we're gonna go with the number 12, right? 12 years old, first time she gets hit on. The average girl will get hit on like 3 times a day. And if you go by, you guys know Chris Rock, the comedian? Yeah. He has this funny stand-up where he's talking about anytime a guy's even offering to help a girl cross the street, he's basically saying, you know, want some dick? Want some dick? It's kind of fucking true. Because if she was 400 pounds, you wouldn't give a fuck to help her cross the street. So any interaction, for the most part, a guy wants some type of sexual communication with that girl, right? So if she's getting hit on 3 times a day, it's over 20 times a week, it's over 80 times a month, that's just shy of 1,000 times a year that she's getting approached and offered sex by men. And she's 22, let's just say. That's 10,000 times she's been approached and been able to read and calibrate men and their behavior and their lies and their who's really about it and who's not, right? Women are so fucking calibrated. 10,000 times she's been approached and offered sex. How many times you as men have been approached and offered sex by women? Right? Probably not a lot at all. And imagine if every time you like went out and you walked down the street and you walk past a group of girls, if you like happen to turn and like check them out or like turn your head to look at them, they're like eyeing you up and down and shit, whistling at you. You go out to get dinner with, you know, I go out to get dinner with Justin and girls come up to us offering us alcohol and sex and we're like, God damn it, we're just trying to have dinner. Like, we don't have those experiences. Girls do. So for that reason, they've been approached 10,000 times. So they're looking at you like, okay, how are you different? Because the last guy said the same bullshit. And this is why girls shit test men. You guys understand? Every guy said that same line to her. So, okay, well, we're going to shit test this motherfucker to see if he's really about it or not. Well, he's wearing jewelry. He's acting like he must be the shit. Let's find out. Did your mom pick you that outfit? I said, no, your mom did. You're funny. No, I'm actually toxic, but fuck. Actually, get away. Here, I'm going to talk to your friend. And then they see that kind of behavior, like, what the fuck? Huh? Like, no one does this kind of things. And this is like all shit testing. We'll get into that shit. But all right, when you guys understand that, we'll get into body language because we're going to talk about appearances. Appearances do matter and how you project yourself. Energy is everything. You guys ever been in a car with an anxious person and they're like a passenger and they're, oh, you're like, hey, bitch, like, don't do that. Fuck, you make me anxious. Girls feel energy. So they can feel when you're timid or you're unsure about yourself. So act confident, dude. You know what I mean? Even if you're not. I'll just act confident. I'll be fucking trembling inside. I'm like, oh man, I want to fuck this girl so bad. Just act confident, dude. You know what I mean? All right. So understanding the basics as humans, man, there's gonna be a good book. You guys should write this one down. It's called The Definitive Book of Body Language. It's by Alan Pease. He's Putin's coach, body language coach. Yes, the Russian guy, Putin. The Definitive Book of Body Language. I read this book and it started me on my journey of understanding. I've never, ever been able to have an interaction the exact same way again. It's like having the fucking Matrix just pulled over your eyes and I see conversations completely different. And I just can read the bitch's thoughts. Like I know exactly where she's at in the reaction. I know exactly what she's feeling. I know how to maneuver the conversation because I'm able to understand her, right? So get that book. But in essence, Every vital organ that exists in your body, if you were to get shot, exists from your throat to you're just above your waist, right? Your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, if you were to get shot here, potentially die. If you get shot in your arms, you walk that shit off. Get shot in your leg, throw some fucking dirt on there, right? Not as life-threatening. So whenever we do feel threatened, this is why we protect this area. This is why we will close off. This is why we will cover, because we don't feel comfortable. So if you open an interaction with a girl and she was open and laughing, and you start telling her something, and maybe you're trying to run a story, run game, and she's like, oh, that's so interesting, you know? What did that tell you? Forget the words. Only 7% of communication is words. The other 93% is vocal tonality, body language. But when she does this, something needs to change in the conversation. The reason I'll say don't cross your arms is even if you're cold and you're crossing your arms, you can remember only less than half of the percent of information as if you weren't crossed. So this is why you'll never see me cross my arms. If I'm sitting with someone, even if I don't like the motherfucker, I'm gonna leave my arms open because I want to receive information. And just think about it intuitively. You open your arms to receive, right? Someone fucking wins a gold medal, they drop down to their knees, fucking just receiving, right? Someone's fucking, they go to church, they're praying, they're opening their arms to receive. A girl getting cum in the face, but she's like, just receive, right? Just fucking all open. And when they're not, we close off, we protect. Does it always mean she's closed off and negative? No, she could be cold. She could have back problems. And it's more comfortable to sit that way because she has a pinched nerve. We don't know, but it will appear that way. If you cross your arms, you're gonna appear that way. Does that make sense? Yeah. You can say this game to girls. I do this all the time. When I'm talking to a girl and she crosses her arms, I just keep talking, I grab her arms and uncross them, and I just keep talking, and they're like, what the hell? And sometimes they'll do it again, and I'll just uncross them. And they're like, oh, why are you doing that? I'm like, oh, I don't know if you know this. And I just tell them exactly what I told you guys. And they go, oh my God, that's so interesting. How do you know this stuff? You know what I mean? You say one interesting thing to a girl, they'll think, that's interesting. You say a few interesting things to a girl, they'll think, he's interesting. You know? So, understanding that basics, right? Shaking hands, hugging. In marketing, do you guys study like colors like the blue, red, yellow, green, or the dolphins, whales, urchins, sharks, that shit? Yeah, so I used to do one-on-one sales, and this helped me out a bunch, and I think every guy should do sales at least for a fucking year. It will just get you out of your comfort zone completely. And I can tell from the moment I met a girl, the way someone dresses, the way someone sits, it just reveals so much information about the person. So everything that you have on your body is a reflection of you. So unless your mom's dressing you, everything that you're wearing is a representation of something of how you think and view yourself, right? So I say this to girls too. I say, I love your heels. It says a lot about you. What does it say? You know? I was like, oh, they're below 4 inches. Oh, no, you're not that crazy. You know, just whatever the fuck. It doesn't even matter, but I'll get into this stuff. So the way you dress and the way you hold yourself, like you have a very slouched appearance, and I'm not picking on you, but I am right now. So it would appear, what would be the word? Like docile, not ambitious, not go-getter, more of in the follower position. And you might run your own company, I don't know, but it would appear that way. So if I were in a room and I were a girl, I would clock that information, and they're literally just queuing and looking for all this stuff, right? If I sit slouched versus if you sit upright and you're talking in your open chest, you know why cholos, when they're gonna fight, they go, what's up, fool? They throw their neck up like this? They're exposing their throat. So to show no threat, I'm not afraid. Turtles will hide in their shell, and even humans, oh shit. And you do this thing, you hide. Dogs lower their head. This is a submissive gesture. This is to show no fear, not threatening. This is why it's very common in photos. Right before the photo's about to snap, guys lift their chin, trying to look all tough and shit. You guys notice that? Girls will look down to appear more submissive and docile. This is what I look like if I'm sucking your dick, the vision. You know what I mean? Looking up. Raised eyebrows is invitation. Closed eyebrows is not invitation. You guys get that. If someone's gonna fight, they're not opening their eyebrows, they're fucking frowning them, right? This open palm is an invitation. This is Hitler. Why? All I did was change my arms, right? So when you invite a girl to dance, and I'll explain, this is literally the game I run. This is what's so fucking cool about this. I'll literally tell girls that. And I was like, so when you invite a girl to dance, you know, you go like this because it's an invitation, it's an open palm. When you go to court and you swear on the Bible, they put one hand on the Bible, they show one hand to show openness, honesty. When a cop pulls you over, tells you to take your hands out of your pockets because you might be concealing weapons. So this shows open honesty, closed off, aggressive. So I'll tell girls, like, I'll invite you like this, but I'm a fucking man, so I'll just grab you like this anyways and yank you, right? And like, same shit. So that's just understanding some key things. The body part furthest away from the brain is the one you're least likely aware of what it's doing. So when it comes to lying, we learn as a kid, you go, oh, fuck. And your parents say, what did you say? And you realize that this gave it away by covering your mouth because you're trying to prevent yourself from talking. When you see a scary movie, you'll cover your eyes. When you hear a noise you don't like, you'll cover your ears. As you grow older, we do what's called micro gestures. So we have more subtle ways of doing it. So someone like Bill Clinton could come out and say, let me repeat. He goes, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And then he'll do this. So that is a subliminal micro gesture of this. So as humans, I've been doing this for so long, I can just clock them all with girls. I know when they're lying, I know how to maneuver shit. I can just fucking tell, and it's so great when you guys understand this stuff. Crossed arms, open body language, and understanding why this works, open palms, open honesty, dominance, right? Touching, it's a territorial thing. Our territory extends beyond just our body. If someone snatches your phone or someone goes and kicks your car outside, you're ready to fucking fight, right? That's an extension of you. By kicking that fucking car, you're like kicking me, right? For a girl, it might be her phone, it might be her purse. So I can tell right away how comfortable a girl is when she gets imagine a girl gets in your car, passenger seat, right? She hops in and she's like, oh, it's so nice, it's your first day, and she puts her purse on this side and you're over there, right? I already know the comfort level. Versus, she's like, oh, she hops in, oh my God, I have the craziest story, and she puts her purse down, let me fix my shoes, and throws her purse on your lap, right? Comfort level. She would not put her purse on a guy she does not feel comfortable with, right? The body part furthest away from the brain is the one you're least likely aware of what it's doing. You guys ever fuck with the dog? Like play with the dog? Yeah. You ever walk into the living room, you're bored, and there's a dog laying on your couch, and you're walking by making eye contact, then you slow down, and you start fucking going like this, and he's getting still, but then out of nowhere, you can just see his fucking tail moving. The body part furthest away from the brain, he's least likely aware of what it's doing. He knows it's playing, but he's pretending. We're gonna pretend to wrestle or fight. But then his tail gives it away, right? So when you're in a room, you're like, okay, I don't know if this girl likes me. And you're like, I don't know if this girl likes me. You're talking to her, and maybe there's two other guys that are in the circle, and they're all talking to her as well. If there's 1, 2, 3 guys, and this girl has her foot pointed at you, I promise you there's a reason for that. Her brain is actually into you. But you guys are just schmucks and you don't understand these things. So you don't know, you're like, oh fuck, she's talking to some other guy, and you walk away or you cower away, right? If someone's talking to you and they're like, and they keep looking at the exit, where's their mind? So sometimes when you guys are approaching or talking to a girl and she's like, oh my God, that's so funny. And they just keep like looking around at the club, seeing what else is going on. They see Justin with 3 bitches and they go, that's so funny. I'm gonna be right back, okay? I promise you. And you're like, oh, it's so convincing. She promised she'd be back. You know what I mean? And then you see her over there with the guy with all the bitches. And you're like, what the fuck? Whore. You get angry because you don't understand. You're like, why are they like this? So understanding these body language cues will tell you when to move forward, when to pull back, when to move on.